Good morning and welcome to the 2019 Mercure City of Perth Masters, coming to you live from WCT, Perth, Scotland. I'm Peter Loudon, and with me this morning is James Davidson. We're bringing you live coverage of the game between Team Mouat and Team Mellemseter. This morning, Team Mouat line up as per normal with Hammy McMillan, Bobby Lammy, Grant Hardy, Bruce Mouat. Against them this morning, we have the teams of Team Mellemseter, Harold Rian at lead, Bendik Ramsfell, Sander Rovag at third, and the skip today for this morning's game is Wilhelm Ness. So left to right, we've got Hammy, Bobby, Grant and Bruce. And there's Team Mellemseter. So James, an exciting game in prospect this morning. Team Mellemseter came through the first game yesterday against our team Sopot from Poland. Bruce Mouat had a bye. Guys took advantage of the practice ice yesterday, and now they face off. So I think as we go into this game, being ranked number 5 in the world, Bruce Mouat's bound to be the favourite for this game. Yeah,
absolutely. I think he got his bye for good reason. I think he's one of the picks for the tournament. He'll be keen to get off to a good start here. This is his first game. Normally he would have had a game by now, but they've had a free day yesterday, a little bit of practice down on the ice yesterday as well. So they'll be keen to get going and get a good win on the board. And this will be a tough game for Mellemseter, I think. They've got a bit of a change to their lineup as well, Pete. I think you were speaking to them beforehand, so I don't think it's the team that they had originally envisaged was going to play here today, so they're going to have to pull together really quickly to make a good game of this against Bruce Mouat.
Yeah, I was speaking to the boys earlier on there, James, and yeah, they're operating a 6-man team this year. Bendik Ramsfell has joined them this season. So Bendik slotting in at second player with Wilhelm Ness taking over the skipping duties, and Sander Rovag coming in at third. So while they've not got as much experience playing against the top level teams this season, in particular against Bruce, they were telling me that they're currently sitting top in the Norwegian Cup, one of the big competitions in Norway. So as you know, Norway traditionally produce some strong teams, and after 2 out of 3 rounds they've had a win in a third place, so they're feeling pretty confident coming into this game. So it looks like we might have a pretty good game in prospect today.
So the team's just going through their practice slides there just now, get a nice stretch off. They'll be well warmed up, but I think they also get a bit of a feel for the ice as well, sliding out. You're not allowed to slide out too much in advance of the game, so you just get an idea of a bit of the speed of the ice and how you're sliding through there.
So as we move to the start of the game, we've got Team Mouat throwing red rocks, Mellemseter throwing the yellow stones today. They'll have completed their draw shot challenge to see who has hammer at the first end, and it's Norway who have advantage at the first end. So it will be Hammy McMillan to throw first for Team Bruce Mouat, and what promises to be an exciting game this morning here at WCT in Perth. So Hammy McMillan throwing the in-turn draw, get us underway. We would expect a team of this quality to start off by throwing a guard in the 5-rock rule that governs the game these days. Boys just halfway tight, calling halfway tight to Bruce, which is good communication right from the off from Team Mouat. Gets us underway, and an ideal start from young Hammy McMillan.
I think it did slow a bit.
Yeah, these guys playing really well this season. Obviously off the back of a European gold medal win in their first outing in the Europeans this year, which was a fantastic achievement for them. And through to the final on a couple of slams as well through in Canada. So they're really performing at the top level at the moment. and they'll be looking forward to show what they can do here. Last year wasn't a good year for them. They just got together and unfortunately went straight out last year of this competition. They got the 3 losses straight away, so they'll be looking to make a big improvement on that this year.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking to the boys earlier on, James, they said that they're determined to make up for what was a very disappointing Perth Masters last season. They came into it with high hopes but left quite disappointed, but managed to regroup pretty well and make it to the World Championships last year. So as you say, they've achieved their first goal of the season, European gold. Second main goal for the boys is to qualify for the World Championships, but plenty other competitions to keep them occupied between now and the end of the season. So turning back the game, Harrow played an excellent draw to the tee line. Hammy's just trying to follow it down. Stone's hanging a little bit wider. Boys just trying to sweep it down to try and maybe get a corner on that yellow to make it a little bit more challenging for the Norwegian team, but just sitting out a little bit, so what I expect the Norwegians here, as you see indicated by Wilhelm the skip, just to play a backline weight to try and remove the yellow stone, and the yellow stone to then tuck in behind that centre red and have 2 yellows lying hidden in the centre of the sheet.
Yeah, and we're seeing that a lot more, and I don't know if it's the 5 rock rule that's causing it, but as the defending team, if you like, the team without the hammer, the team without the last stone, they throw a centre guard. That's pretty standard, but more and more the team with the hammer, rather than go wide, you generally want to keep play away from the middle. They're coming round that centre now guard now. Yeah,
and I think this is one that's just been slightly overthrown by Harold, a little bit heavier than expected, and caught it on completely the wrong side. So gives Bruce an opportunity now to remove the yellow stone and lie to. Calling for a hack weight shot, as he indicated, tapping his foot. That's hack weight, which means if there was no stones in play, the stone that Bobby's delivering would just end up in the hack. So a nice controlled weight here, looking forward from Bobby Lammy.
Here down! He's down!
And all these skips and all these teams have hand signals to reinforce what their instructions are. It's so noisy out there with everyone shouting and 8 rinks all out and shouting commands that you can't be guaranteed to be heard. It's a long way from the head to the hack, so they all have visual indicators as to what shot they want. They'll place the brush where they want the stone, the kind of shot that they want, and then they'll make an indication of what sort of weight you'd like throwing. Tap into the heel is the hack weight throw, or sometimes a little tap of the hip.
So well executed shot by Bobby. Now to bend it, an in turn, probably a similar weight as Bobby Lammy played to try and maneuver with the head. Plenty of rotation on this stone from Bendick, but the line looks pretty good. So we've seen the ice conditions, James. Excellent as always here at Perth. Paul Martin with his ice crew work very, very hard, dedicated crew here to make the top class ice conditions for what are the best teams in the world, and that certainly helps these teams execute as many shots as they can over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's one of the reasons a lot of the top teams do like to come back to Perth year after year, is that they're guaranteed that getting arena ice conditions, and it's always really good ice for them to practice on against some of the top teams in the world as well. So.
Yeah, and that's an important point, because all these teams then go to play in big ice arenas at the big championships, whether it's Grand Slams or World and European Championships. So to have that replicated here at the start of the new year is vital for these guys as they prepare. So as we move through the end here, we're still in second stones with Bendick Ramsfell being asked for an in-turn take-out. Wide open red stone, looking to remove the red stone and then roll towards the red stone, as you see on the right-hand side of your screen.
And that looks like that picked up there, I think, Pete. Right halfway down the ice, it just took a little bit of a jump right in towards the centre line. So
it's very unlucky there for Team Mellemseter. As you see, that happens from time to time. There's sometimes debris or some form of impediment in the ice. It catches the running band of the stone underneath and completely changes its course, and in this case it's not really worked out that well, because as you see, it did remove the red stone, but the yellow stones rolled across and guarded one of the reds. So what you'll see Team Mouat doing now is place a guard on their second red stone to try and make it a lot more difficult for the Norwegian team to remove either of them, James.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate there for the guys, especially. I mean, at least it's happened this early on. It's a lot worse than the last stone in the last end, but it's not helpful at any time for you to take away your shot that you were going for and take away the guards that you might have been relying on to get in behind.
I agreed. Not really taking advantage of that mistake or that slip up with the pick up there, James. I think maybe the line of the stone or the weight, it's not guarded the red one. So again,
you had to go for weight,
first end you
for
can.
next time. I'm going to tighten up the ice. But yeah, I liked it.
So you hear some really good communication between the team there as to what they felt went wrong with that stone. Bruce talking about tightening up the ice, so very, very crucial that ice and line and weight are all in sync. Sander Rolbag now playing an out-turn take-out on the red stone. Removes it, but unfortunately doesn't hang about for him, so moves out. So Bruce and the boys, after that last discussion, hope to have the correct ice and weight now. They're going to play an out-turn draw, hoping to end up in the grey circle, as you can see in the centre of your screen, hidden completely behind the red and the yellow guards. Grant Hardy.
Waist there just now. Pretty good. Waist good. Top four. Line's a little narrow. Line's good. Whoa. No, line's good. Line's fine. T line. Back four. No, wait, T line. No, back four.
Again, good shout of weight that it's going to be back 4 foot, which is lots of white circles there, James.
I mean, it's the first end. The guys are still getting used to what the ice is, what the weights are, but you can see they called that wrong. I mean, they were obviously expecting that to stop a lot further up the head, a lot further up the house, and it's sailed right to the back 12 foot. So, I mean, it is the first end. It's difficult to get the conditions straight away, and as you've had a couple of stones being thrown, they do change. You know, the pebble gets crushed down that little bit, or takes the top off, and the path of the stones and the weight does change in the first end, and you just got to try and keep on top of that and not play anything too risky.
So Sander here looking again a little bit heavy. If the line's the same, that'll probably end up alongside where Grant Stone is at the back of the house. Maybe a little bit heavier, it'll just slip by it, which it does. So again, at this stage, with skip stones to come, it's the advantage to Team Mouat. If Bruce can just end up where he's indicating there, it'll put some real pressure on Team Mellemseter with Wilhelm Ness to throw skip stones.
And I think also when Grant will be feeling a little bit better about his first stone, you know, being that a little bit heavier, not doing what it expected, you know, when the opposition come down to try and play exactly the same shot and they get exactly the same result, it does make you feel like it wasn't your fault.
But sometimes you find, even though it's not perfectly executed, that one at the back might come into play and distract the opposition in a way. If you notice now, though, that Grant and Bruce have taken less ice than for Grant's draw, so they're hoping that they'll maybe be a little bit tighter to that guard as they come around into the top of the rings.
Yeah, maybe relying a little bit more on the sweepers here, which they can do. They know they've got two really good sweepers in Hammy and Bruce. Hammy and Bobby, sorry.
Straight on that for weight. They've got plenty of room as far as the line goes, but I think the boys think it's needing swept, and it's looking like it's going to come up short.
I think they were obviously worried that it was going to go too far like Grant's did, and they're just taking a little bit too much off it there. That's not terrible for them, that helps block the line in a little bit, but there's still a way around.
Ready for what? Yeah. Okay. Didn't think you threw it there.
Solid, Merritt.
Good it was.
Med prøver å få den halvjent der. Helhjent.
So it didn't make it into the circles to count to lie 3, but Team Mouat still line 2. Wilhelm Ness now with the out-turn draw to try and slip past that red one, as you see at the top of your screen, just outside the circles. And even if it's not completely hidden, James, in these circumstances, even if as a skip you're half round that stone and showing the opposition half, that's good enough. The priority here is for the Norwegian team to be lying first shot.
Oh, leg out.
So this is Willem Ness, his first draw of the game.
His line looks pretty good.
Press! Press!
Just need it to curl a little bit at the finish. And good weight from Willem there.
Just a little bit deep. Yeah, it's unlucky.
But first objective achieved to make sure that they're lying one, which leaves Bruce with a couple of options maybe to move that one back a little bit to lie 2. As you can see, if he moves it, I don't know, a couple of feet, he would bring his other red at the front of the house on the left hand side into play to lie 2. Alternatively, just wants to freeze right in front of that yellow stone to make it more difficult for Ness to score at this end.
Now for draw weight, Pete, I mean that doesn't look like an awful lot of ice. We're used to kind of swinging 4 to 5 feet here at Perth. I mean it looks a little bit tight for draw. Do you think it's maybe not quite as swingy as we normally get here?
It looks like that from the ice that he's taking, James, but again maybe it's early ends, and sometimes you find the longer the game goes on, the more that it swings. And if you look at the line from behind, his line looks pretty good, pretty narrow, so the guys have really got to sweep it hard. Only shout, so they're happy with the line, it's just the weight, and you'll see it finishing here.
Never. Come on, man. Sorry, guys.
So I think we would call that just a slight sweeping error, James, on behalf of the team. I think the weight, if the guys hadn't swept it, would have been absolutely spot on. They were maybe a little bit concerned for the line earlier on. It was tight, as you said. They were maybe expecting it to swing a little bit more. But the result is, it's given Wilhelm Ness an excellent opportunity to score 2, really from nothing at this end. His team haven't been in the end at all. But that's sometimes the way. If your skip can make a couple of shots, then you come away a relatively straightforward shot here for 2. Weight is crucial.
Yeah, I think they thought that was tight because of this. There were such tight ice to begin with.
Sorry, James, this is looking a little bit wide and heavy.
He's definitely not taking advantage of that, and he's actually knocked them in for 2. So Team Mouat look like they picked up a 2.
Bit of a roller coaster,
yeah,
in the last 4 stones in the end. But the result is that Team Mouat scores 2. So where Team Ness had an excellent opportunity, I think. He just overthrew it a little bit heavy with his last stone. He wasn't really needing that much more weight than he played first time round. Just needed to tap it back a couple of feet, but maybe a little bit of rush of adrenaline at the first end. But as we say, the result is a score of 2 shots to Team Mouat as we move into the second end.
And sometimes that's not terrible. You know, if the hammer was the other way around and you lost a 2, you as a team you wouldn't be too disheartened with that. They can just regroup. They're going down the second end. It's early in the game yet, and you know they're 2 down, and they've got the hammer on the even end. So if they can keep the hammer on the even ends right the way through, arguably that's going to be better for them anyway. They get the hammer in the 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 8th, and sometimes that's actually more beneficial to you. So as long as they don't, as long as they can score on every even end, then that can be a good tactic as well. So I'll not be too disappointed.
So they're going here, as you say, James, at the second innings to hit back with a score of 2. If it's not a 2, even if they score a 1, they're back in the game. The last thing you want to do is give up a steal and fall further behind, because remember, we've only got 8 ends of curling here, and it does go over quite quickly. So moving into the second end, Team Mouat 2-0 up against Team Mellemseter. And Bruce will be wanting this stone not to be short of the house. They'll want this into the house and look to have the Norwegian team to play the more aggressive style of curling to try and chase their 2 and maybe take advantage of any mistakes to see if he can steal one. So Wilhelm's indicating to Harold Rian at lead that he wants a corner guard. That's generally the tactic when you have last stone, to try and get a corner guard or 2 up. So it means that you're looking to take advantage of the corner guards away from the centre of the house, if you can use them throughout the end. And if it doesn't work out, then you've always got the centre of the house that your skip needs to draw to if he needs to save one. This really needs to be short of the house, and it's looking a little bit heavy, which is the last thing that they want at this stage.
Yeah, that lead position is so important to get those stones set up and get the whole end set up, and it really does dictate how you can play. if you don't get your guards, because you can see Bruce is straight down with the brush. Let's just get rid of that yellow. Let's no messing around.
So he's asking Hammy McMillan here for an out and take out. A little bit of a wobble there, Hammy, but covered well. He'd be looking to remove the yellow stone and probably just replace it straight in front of it, or roll slightly towards his other red stone in the centre of the house and take control and advantage of this end.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Which he does nicely. So with 2 in the house, Wilhelm's had a slight change of tactics already, doesn't really want to leave too many lying about and throw another corner guard, so he's looking to remove the red stone. Similar shot as Hammy just played. Remove the red stone and the yellow to roll towards the red in the centre.
Now ideally what they want to do here is, if they can roll it and move the yellow right on top of the red, essentially that red at the back will act like a guard. It means that it can't be removed, but they've actually rolled slightly the wrong way. Didn't even get to nose, so again Bruce would like to just nose this, or maybe even just roll slightly to the left of the screen as you can see it, to keep a separation between those 2 red stones.
So as we said earlier on, the Norwegian team of Mellemseter haven't played that much on tour this season. However, had some really good success, James, when I was speaking to the team earlier on. Within Norway, 16 teams in the Norwegian Cup. They've played 2 rounds already. They've had a win and a 3rd place, so they're sitting top of the pile. And the way that works is that after the 3rd round, which is in a couple of weeks in Oppdal, the top 6 teams move forward to the cup final. And for the very first time in many, many years, the National Championships in Norway, which is underway in February. I think there'll be about 12 teams competing in what is a new arena, yet to be completed, a new arena in Haugesund. They play a national championships, and the winner of that national championships goes to the World Championships. We've seen in the last few years, not just from Norway but from many other countries, that teams are selected for going to World Championships based on results around about the world, but Norway have reverted for this season to send the winner of the national championship. So the boys are really excited about that, which is part of the reason that they're here at Perth this weekend as preparation for their national championships in February.
And of course their big rivals, Wallstad, are here as well. Yep. They're the national champions for the last 2 or 3 years. So
Wallstad and Ulsrud, obviously.
And Ulsrud as well, yeah.
Yep. So plenty tough opposition for Team Mellemseter this year.
And it's good they'll be able to give themselves an indication of where they are as well in that level and amongst those teams, and what they need to work on. So yeah, it's always really good practice, this kind of event for these guys.
Bendik Ramsfell, second player here, joined the team this year to make up to the 6 men in the team, give themselves a little bit of flexibility. But speaking to him again earlier, quite excited to join this team and have an opportunity to play in different competitions. So he's thrown an in-turn corner guard. As we see, we're trying to see if the Norwegians, with 1 opposition redstone line in the house, can create an opportunity to try and score 2 at this end. Whereas Grant Hardy throwing an in-turn peel, as we call it in the game, to try and remove the yellow, clear the front, and roll his red stone away. And generally, when there's not much communication and not much sweeping and feedback like nice throw, it's executed perfectly.
Yeah, and this all stems from that rollout, that missed shot from Bobby Lammy when he rolled out with the red. So that was allowed Ness to change his tactics and start throwing the corner guard again, with only 1 red in the house. I think, as you said earlier, he didn't want 2 reds there. That was just didn't want to lose another 2. But I think it just shows how the game can change on 1 shot, whether it's a really good shot or a really bad shot, and then the tactics change and the approach changes to the end completely. So
what the Norwegians are looking for here is either Team Mouat to hit that yellow on the nose or miss it completely, which would give them some cover at the front to try to manufacture a score of 2 at this end to get back on level terms.
Yeah, and that guard was a little bit too close to the rings. I don't think they wanted it quite that close, because you saw Bruce indicate there that he could come off this stone and actually roll another red into the house, so he could get rid of the yellow and set a second shot in the house. And if it was further up away from the rings, he wouldn't be able to do that. So that's exactly what he's got. That's a great shot. That's lovely.
So again, to leave Team Mouat line 2. I think what you'll see here though, James, is that red maybe tried to use that as a bit of cover, although it's in the rings, it can still be used as a guard. So what Sanders looking to do here is remove the red on the centre and move behind the red to the left hand side of the screen as you see it into the white area of the circles.
Yeah. He's just trying to use anything he can at this stage. You know, it's not looking great for him. It's looking like a one he's going to be forced to take, and he's desperately looking to try and get a 2 here.
Boys sweeping this one hard to try and keep it straight without it curling. Just curls and just hits just off the nose. Wasn't far away. If he'd hit a fraction less of that stone, you'd have seen the stone move and rolling behind the yellow, but it leaves Team Mouat again in control of this end. Bruce will just be looking to put a little bit more separation between the two stones. So just so the Norwegians probably can't repeat that shot that they played, so they'll be looking to remove this yellow and roll further towards the right hand side of the circle as we look at the screen. So an in-turn controlled takeout here for Bruce Mouat at the second end.
Nice weight. Close. Yep. Hard. Nice weight. Hard. Hard, Hammy. Nice weight. Hard. Hard. Whoa.
He's sweeping it. Try and hold it as straight as he can to get a little bit of roll.
Good boys.
And rolls nicely.
Use it.
So again, what we'll see here is the Norwegian team looking to repeat what they tried earlier on, to remove the red and roll behind the yellow, but the slight difference this time is because two stones have replaced each other. If they do complete that successfully, James, you'll notice the yellow will be very close to the red, so even if he was completely hidden behind it, it would leave a relatively straightforward shot for Bruce just to raise his red one onto the yellow one. But first and foremost, he wants to remove this, make sure he's lying one shot, give himself a little bit of confidence after his last stone at the last end.
Litt opp. 14. Hjelp. Hjelp.
So the line must be pretty close, needs it to curl a little bit. Staying relatively straight. Hits on the nose and lies one. Yeah.
So Bruce, if he hits this one, didn't need to think about this very much at all. It's an obvious shot. He's going to hit this on the nose, just get rid of the yellow. He wants to hang around and sit 2 in the house, and what that'll do is it'll force Willem Ness just to take his 1.
Yeah, I think you'll find though, from listening to what Grant said here, he's looking to hit this on the nose. So if he hits that on the nose, it's forcing the Norwegians to probably draw for 1. Whereas if they were to make a takeout, they wouldn't lie short on either of these reds. So the perfect shot here from Bruce is to hit it on the nose.
Whoa! Hit more! Yep! Whoa! Yes! Yep! Hard! Yep! Hard, Hammy, hard! Sit. Good, Bruce.
Yeah, an ideal shot. Good. Not only has he hit it slightly on the inside, he's reduced the gap for Wilhelm to draw through as well. So, as we say, forced him to draw. On the outside, he needs to be careful of line and weight here. He needs to be negotiate these 2 reds and make it half into the white circle to score 1 here at the second end. So a little bit of pressure put on by Team Mouat, and we'll see if Wilhelm Ness is up to the task.
So last stone, second end. Willem Hess looking to get on the scoreboard.
Looks a little bit heavy, maybe, James, I think.
I don't know if this is
direction.
curling again. If he hits one of these reds and taps it in, he's going to lose a 1, if not a 2. And he's might have lost a 1 there.
He's definitely lost 1.
Yeah. He rolled just enough into the white to outcount that other red, but that was another big mistake there. I don't think that'll do his confidence any good. We were talking about him needing to get his confidence back after that first end, and he'll not be happy with that, especially if he's got any pressure draws coming up, having played that.
Yeah, and we said it's
a little wry smile there from Willem.
It's about weight and line, James, and I think what happened there was, as with his first stone his last stone at the first end, he was heavier than expected. And in these circumstances, when you're trying to negotiate some stones at the front of the house, it's vital that the sweepers are calling to the third player, in this case Sander, exactly what the weight is. So it's always good to have a contingency plan and a plan B. They would have probably wanted, if they'd hit less of the front red, they might have rolled in and got shot, but I think the line was wide, so wide that wasn't going to be the case. So the result, as we said, was a steal of 1 for Team Bruce Mouat as we move into the third end at 3-0. So Hammy getting us underway at the third end. And Bruce and the boys have got a really packed schedule. James, we talked about earlier on, their first goal of the season was to win European gold, which they achieved with some style. Played excellent with the best team all week to win their first major gold medal. And when they sit down and plan the schedule and their goals for the season, I think I touched on it earlier, European gold and then to make it to the World Championships. Right after this weekend they're flying off to Saskatoon, so they fly out on Monday. Competition ends here on Sunday, fly out on Monday to Saskatoon to play in the Canadian Open. Not have much time to recover. Their first game's Tuesday afternoon, so it's a case of trying to get over the jet lag early, play that. And then after that they fly to Las Vegas for the Continental Cup. So packed in a few weeks and underway for Team Mouat just off the back of the new year. So turning back to the game here, James, kind of similar setup as we had at the last end, although for Harold Rian he's managed to get a corner guard up, and as you said, it's vital that the leads can dictate how these ends develop, so for him to get a little bit of cover forces Bruce and the boys just to draw in round that.
Yeah, and Hammy's first stone wasn't the best either. I think that would have encouraged that corner guard and made it more important. He's behind the tee line, and so that means any stone that comes down in front of that is probably going to outcount it. So he would have preferred that to be where Bruce is indicating now for Hammy's first stone. So just threw that a little bit deeper than he meant to, and that gets created a little bit of an opportunity there. And he's corrected well. He's got his second stone exactly where Bruce wanted it, so
Wilhelm just calling to remove that and roll behind the corner guard. The dilemma for the Norwegian team now is, James, as we said, 8-end game, they're 3-0 down. Some people might be tempted to really gamble quite heavily here. However, if you think about it, they're just looking to score a 2 and get back in the game. If they score a 2, they're only 1 down. With 5 ends to go, it's still all to play for.
This is over curling again. They're really not getting the ice here, or it's not working out for them. And it hangs around, but it's actually improved that shot at the back, because although it's still behind the tee, it's even closer now to the centre. So
yeah, I think part of the game, as we've said, is the team that can capture the ice and the weight quickest gives them an advantage, and so far that's been Team Mouat. I think the Norwegian guys are just struggling a little bit to get that, but it's still early. We're in the third end. Not really much pressure being put on Team Mouat, so I think now's an opportunity, as we see Wilhelm now, to try and use his guard and try and come around and get some yellow stones in play with a little bit of cover in front. Bendick indicating that he thinks that one's a little bit light and maybe tight. He's going to over curl and catch the guard.
And it did.
Shamlet, side, better.
Yeah, the guard's still there, but it's that little bit wider now. It's not quite as useful to them as it was a minute ago.
And a really positive call here from Bruce, which I like. There's a centre guard on, and he's going to try and exert more pressure by playing an out-turn draw around that centre guard to lie 3 stones.
Yeah, like you say, Pete, that's a very aggressive call. I mean, he's 3-0 up, so he can maybe afford to be, but normally, I mean, the 5 stones are all done, so we can start hitting guards if he wants to. Can remove any of that protection. He would still sit 2 in the house, you know, but maybe he's worried about keeping that hanging around, because he'd have to push that yellow stone through the reds. Unless he caught it really thin. He's maybe worried about taking out one of the reds in the house anyway, so he'd maybe just rather get a 3rd one in rather than try and remove that guard. I don't know.
So an in-turn draw from Bobby Lamb.
Line's good. Top 12. Hard. Top 12.
Line and weight seems good. Got a curl
Where are we?
a little bit more.
Light and 12.
Boys are working hard to get it there to the front
Hard,
right.
Hammy. Get the hard.
Could have done with that.
I'll
maybe.
do that. I'll do.
He's pretty good there. That's a really good shot there from Bobby Lamb.
Yep.
Good team effort there again.
Certainly was. Sweepers worked that hard, but got it where it needs to be.
So with the 5-stone rule, James, as you've said, it encourages more aggressive curling, more stones in play, because it means that you can't remove any stones until that 5th stone's there. Looking at the situation that we've got just now with Mouat lying 3. A couple of options here for the Norwegian boys, and that would be one to try and either draw round. You could lie short lying on that back red, try and use a little bit of cover, but he's choosing to try and raise the yellow short of the house onto the red and try and hold his shooter, so he's maybe got a couple of yellows hanging about. The line's pretty good on this, and a good shot there from Bendick. That's improved the situation a little bit for the Norwegians.
Yeah, he's put that guard back in the corner again where it was. He's got rid of that centre guard that Bruce was using that was not going to be helpful later on in the game. So, yeah, I think that was a good shot there.
So hopefully that will give the Norwegians, from their perspective, a little bit of confidence. And they really must score at this end. Even if it's a 1, they'd be delighted to get a 2, but even if they score a 1, they want to get themselves on the board.
Yep. Just body. Hard. Just body. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Lovely controlled weight here from Grant Hardy. Excellently played shot. Remove the yellow. And sits on top of that other red one, which will make it difficult if they were wanting to remove both these reds, to remove both of them. So pressure is relentless here from Team Mouat onto the Norwegians, but they have a couple of corner guards in play that they're now choosing to use to try and manufacture a score at this end.
And this is what I was talking about at the last end. You know, he's had 2 draws, Willem now, on the last end, and he's missed both of them, and actually made things worse on the first end, and actually lost a 2 when he was drawing for a 1. And on the second end, didn't have a great draw either, so his confidence isn't going to be high. And if you're sitting against 2 or 3 or 4 stones and you've got a pressure draw on, then that can just be what completely kills your game if you just can't make that draw. So he'll be hoping he doesn't have to have a draw.
This is a better shot from Sander though. Lovely played shot, nice draw.
Yeah, and that helps, you know, when your team are playing well, it does help take that pressure off a little bit now, especially if you can keep that stone there and outcount those 2 reds on the left. It means that takes all the pressure off the shot that Willem Ness might have to play later on.
What turn are we playing? Out. Just nice, away.
So the yellow second shot, the call here is to run back the yellow stone and try and remove the shot that Sander just curled round that corner guard.
Whoa, close, yep. Whoa, whoa, yep. Whoa, whoa.
Sounds like it's close. Unfortunately, just jammed that straight back and left the guard on there. So while red still lie 1, yellow lie second shot, and this gives the Norwegian team a real opportunity to remove that red and lie 2, and if you can get a roll, either as indicated by Wilhelm to the side, one way or another, it definitely gives them an opportunity. So I think here we're looking for Sander controlled weight in turn to remove the red stone and either roll to the left hand side to put a good bit of separation between these two stones, or if he tucks it in behind the corner guard, I'm sure he'll be happy with that as well.
Yes! Hard!
Sweepers are on it straight away, James, which to me indicates that it's needing to get kept straight. This one's going to curl a little bit and end up just
Too
off
close
the
to nose. Yeah, that's
no,
not
that's a
too
good shot.
bad. Yep,
Yeah,
they managed. The
good
sweepers
shot.
held that there. That was good.
So no option, Bruce, but to remove the shot stone, try and just replace it, hit it on the nose. And at this stage of the game, if through skip stones that happens, it'll be a score of 2, and that's what Wilhelm will be hoping for, and Bruce will be hoping for make it as difficult as possible as he can
How big's the gap between
for the
them?
Norwegian boys to score at this end.
The run. Like between the yellows, how big's the gap? What do you mean, sorry? Like between the 2 yellows, if you run the red, it's quite a big gap. Yeah. It's probably 3 or 4 stones. Okay. Just nose this.
So Bobby just asking for a bit of information there from Bruce
That was good.
to see how big the gap was between the yellows in case they wanted to repeat the same shot that Grant had, but they've decided the gap's too big between the 2 yellows, maybe too risky at this stage to do that. So the safe shot's just to remove the shot stone. Good that we can have these discussions though.
Just put! Here, down! Gotta go, Hammy. Gotta go, you gotta go. Gotta go, hit this, Hammy. Hard. Yep, hard! Hard, Hammy.
Hammy's got to sweep this really hard to make sure he removes it because it's curling a lot.
Just managed to keep that.
So Bruce will be a little bit disappointed with that one. He did remove the yellow, but didn't hang about.
Kan jo dra hit så, men
Yeah, primary objective achieved, but yeah, he'll not be pleased with that. That obviously curled a lot more than he was expecting.
Ja.
So Sander just indicating and discussing, I guess, all the different possibilities that are available, but by his indication here,
Jeg syns det er
they're looking
risky å dra
to
hit.
draw another yellow stone to the other side of the house to have good separation and level them up. But they've moved to behind the guard to
Hvis
say,
jeg skal dit.
Wilhelm, if I get another one like you, Sander, that draw come around, put a bit of pressure on him. I'm obviously interpreting the Norwegian here, James. Yes. As you can see
Ja, men
there,
hvis vi drar hit, så
the
frister
yellow
oss med
stone
den.
just in front of the tee line. 2 options that I think the Norwegian team have discussed. Put them here indicated
Her gjør det. Større belønning.
behind it or to the other side of the sheet, and I think they've ended up on taking ice to try and draw round that corner guard, past the yellow one, James, and then try and lie 2 stones completely hidden.
Do you like this shot, Pete? I mean, the other option, I mean, they discussed a few things there, but I think trying to separate the stones from, across the house, that is obviously the other tactic, try and use the reds on the other side as a guard. Bringing both yellows round to the same area, I mean, does that not a little bit riskier with it if Bruce gets a good run back and takes both yellows? If you split the house, then I think it's a bit of a safer shot, isn't it?
Agree. The safe shot for 2 is to split the house. I think what he's hoping for here, if he plays the perfect shot and lies 2 hidden, if Bruce attempts a run back, misses it, he's looking to score 3. So it's the difference between scoring a 2 and scoring a 3, James. So tightened up the ice just a little bit. They'll know.
Wants to make sure he's right behind that red, isn't it?
They'll know from Sander played the come around similar shot. So here we go.
Well, Ness needing to get a good draw in here.
Litt ned. Start. Gjerne 5. 5.
Yes!
Boys are needing to sweep this away. I think this is light.
Hard!
Hardt, Ørn!
It's going to be close.
Kjør!
Very close.
Frys egen, kjør!
Hard!
Oh, squeezed past it. What a lovely shot.
It's a game of margins, isn't it? And that was just right on the right side. You can see the wee dink of the brush there. He liked that.
What a lovely sweep from the boys. That's what made that shot, James, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So it leaves Bruce no option but the run back, and the way the stones are positioned, it's going to be difficult for him, practically impossible I think, to remove both these yellows if they look like they're pretty well frozen. So what he'll be looking to do is maybe a similar shot than as Grant played, to play the run back and try and hold the red one that he runs back on top of the top yellow. Not going to lie shot, may lie shot, but make it as difficult as possible. So Bruce Mouat with the out-turn run back.
Touch something. Touch it.
Good shot.
Nice shot. Nice throw.
It's probably as best as he could hope for, I think, in the circumstances.
Nice throw. Good.
Which gives Willem Ness a straightforward draw for 2 here at the third end. Taking a little bit more ice as he did last time. Sweepers will be hoping for a little bit more weight than the last time maybe, but I'm sure they'll not be too fussed if they sweep it all the way and score 2. So a good opportunity for team of Mellemseter, skipped by Willem Ness, to get right back into the game here.
Yeah, need those sweepers to keep a bit of energy towards the end of the game. It's a very physical sport, this. A lot of people think curling is an old man's game, but you've got to be really physically fit, especially on the front end, to sweep some of these stones as hard as these guys sweep them. And for as long as they sweep them as well. These are only 8 end games. On 10 end games it's even harder. So
yeah, but the boys are gently sweeping this down. Looks pretty good. So
yeah, Willem's definitely found his weight now, and that'll give him a lot of confidence going into the next few ends. So that's good, and it gives his team a little bit of confidence as well. And you can see a little congratulations there as well from Harold, just giving his skip that little bit of encouragement.
Yep,
they're back in this now.
Definitely, you can see from the 4 boys there, far more positive body language and smiles, a little bit more relaxed. That's they're on the board. They're 3-2 down as we move here into the 4th end. It's interesting, James, you touched on there about the physical demands of curling. Speaking to Team Mouat earlier on, a typical week for these boys is 5 1-hour sessions on ice individually. They have a couple of 2-hour sessions as a team on ice every week, and on top of that they do 3 strength and conditioning sessions. Base themselves mainly at Stirling, sometimes Glasgow, at the Emirates Arena. I think Grant trains there, but that's a typical week throughout the season and in the off season. So when I say off season, the curling season's been extended so much these days. There's so many competitions on the schedule that these boys have to be at, I guess, the peak both physical condition and mental condition to be able to compete at the top level. So by doing that on a regular basis and having access to the dedicated ice facility within Stirling, I think that's made a big difference, not just for Team Mouat, but as we've noticed this season, Scottish teams have had great success on tour with both Bruce Mouat, Ross Patterson, Team Glen Muirhead have all won big competitions this season. So Scottish curling is doing really well, flourishing. I think we've got a good coaching set up in place with David Murdoch, our national coach, in place this season as well. So he'll be pleased with the way that these boys are performing both on and off the ice. Vitally important that as athletes that they're in the best condition possible.
On your brush.
Absolutely. And we're in the 4th end here. Score is 3-2 to Bruce Mouat and his team. And we're almost at the halfway point. And at this point, I think we need to mention again that the Mercure Perth Masters curling is very well sponsored and it allows this competition to take place. And we've got the coverage today brought to you with the support of the World Curling Federation and the World Curling Tour. Perth and Kinross Council have been instrumental, Perth Honda, Ironside Coaches, Live Active Leisure, and our title sponsor, of course, is the Mercure City Mills Hotel, and without them, we couldn't put this competition on every year, and they've been a great supporter throughout the years, which is fantastic.
Yeah, you're right, James. We've been running this competition now. It's over 40 years. I think it's the 45th year. 71 was the first. We had a few years where we weren't able to run the competition, but since 1994, every single year it's run here in Perth and has attracted the very best teams in the world and continues to do so. So delighted to be part of it. Delighted that we can manage to broadcast games to the watching world. And we've got an exciting game this morning, James. After what we thought might have been a bit of a washout at 3-0 to Mouat. Norwegian team Mellemseter with Willem Nestor on last stones did a great end to get back in with a 2, and now we're set up for what could be an exciting end at the fourth end. Some guards up, bit of cover up. We've got a centre guard, yellow's line 1, a couple of corner guards that Hammy's played, and
yeah, both teams trying to make a move now. I think that obviously the first stone from Harold was a little bit deeper than he would have liked, but they got the guard up second time, and I think that stone was called in the house as well for Hammy. I don't think they were looking for a double guard there. That sometimes is a tactic they can use, but I think they were wanting that in the house, and so they were a little bit short there. So
I did hear Hammy saying that he thought the stone was slow, James, the second stone. So again, one of the intricacies of curling, that stones are generally matched in pairs. In some of the big events you get a little bit of time to spend to match them, to make sure that you're comfortable that the two stones that you're playing with behave the same way. So it looks like they don't have much time here because we've got a packed schedule to go to that degree of detail, but it looks like Hammy thinks from the time of the stones that they'll be a little bit slow. So they'll pick up on that, and they can use that to their advantage as the game goes on. But back to the game, we're looking for an in-turn draw here from Bobby Lammy.
Line's okay.
Lammy shouting the weight looks good. Line's okay.
Line's good now.
Yeah, and as much as you try and make all stones the same, they do have. I mean, they are natural granite products. They all got slight imperfections in between them all, so that's what can make the difference.
Nice shot from Bobby. Bobby's had a strong start to this game. He made about every shot that he's been asked for there. That was a little freeze or a tap back. So we've got a bit of gathering of stones at the back of the 4 foot here. Looking for Bendik Ramsfell. Son of Bent Ramsfell, just to come down and play a similar shot to Bobby, to sit right in front of that red stone. Sweepers are on it straight away. For weight. Working hard to move that stone all the way down past the guard. Continuing to work hard. Looks like it's going to come up short of the anticipated target area, but if you're going to miss a shot like that in these circumstances, you're better doing it being a little bit short. That control area at the front of the house, James, just where that yellow's biting the red stone, is a vital area in the game of curling, that if you've got stones there in certain circumstances, you can use them to your advantage. They're better to be there than in the same place at the back of the rings.
Don't hate this, but
we'll get the corner.
Yeah, and as you say, Bobby's having a great season. He was the highest percentage second curler at the European Championships from everybody that was there, and it's when you're going to win something like that, you do need your team to perform, and Bobby definitely performed in that position at second better than anybody in Europe.
And I think having watched him anyway, over the last 2 years,
this isn't going to, like, we can make this.
One of the vital recipes for success, if you want, for their success has been they're fierce competitors, as we know, but they're all absolutely crystal clear what their jobs are in the team, James. So everybody has different jobs at the different positions in the team. They're crystal clear and they're focused on doing it to the best of their ability. And Bobby's a great example of that. Yeah. So an out-turn peel, asked for by Bruce, well executed by Bobby, and I think in the circumstances that's probably the right shout. Team Mouat, they're one shot up, they're in control. The more debris and guards that are out front can be counterproductive. Get one shot in against you, it's more difficult to remove it. So I think that was a good shot. Although saying that, with that yellow in the control zone, as we call it, at the front of the house there, James, it gives the Norwegians a chance to maybe use that. And this time I think they're looking for an out-turn draw, come past that yellow at the front of the house and sit right in front of the red stone. Sander looking to play this. Picture of concentration from Sander Rovag. A few hand indications that the weight is there or thereabouts. Good communication from the team. I think the line, if anything's a little bit tight. It's curling quite a lot here. Got to sweep it, get past this yellow guard.
There's some good line calling there, some brave line calling.
A lovely shot. So we've noticed the last couple of ends, Sanders definitely found draw weight and line, which is good. So Bruce and the guys got a chance to run
We take it the other way.
the yellow into the pack, try and open things up.
Think they'll lie too.
We're going that way.
You go this way, you probably hold your shooter behind.
Yeah.
So the boys just discussing
This is okay.
what's the best option, which side to hit that yellow on as they run it back into the
Not sure if
pack.
that's going to be able
Maybe to, I heard one of the boys saying hold your shooter,
Might just
try and
stick
hold
around
the
there,
red
and
at
that's
the front,
probably
which would be a
sticking
good
around.
You've
advantage.
almost got more chance holding the red the other way.
So you want to go that way?
No, go this way. Let's do it.
Depends if there's a gap between them or not.
I don't know.
Okay,
So we're going
pair high nose.
just.
So I think, yeah, just high the nose, which means the yellow that they hit would come to the left-hand side as we looked. Grant Hardy with an in-turn run back.
Whoa.
No,
No.
never. Never.
No.
Never.
Stay with the roll, Bob.
Roll it. The back one.
Just a hair high there, didn't manage to remove anything in the pack. So I think we'll see the Norwegian team just replace that.
Okay.
So I think what you'll find, James, if they continue to replace it, it'd be difficult to
Yeah.
remove the yellow at the front of the house and the yellow that's lying short at the moment, to remove them both, because one would jam onto the other and probably leave the Norwegians lying one shot.
And he's calling the guard there actually in the house, right at the top of the 12 foot circle, rather than any shorter than that. And I think, is that not an advantage for running that back, Pete, if it's closer, or do they want it closer? Because if it was too far out, then there might be a shot round it onto that yellow directly.
Yeah, they're trying to think ahead here, James. You're absolutely spot on. They want it close because if it's too long, and that's probably too long, it might give. Well, it's left the yellow exposed, so as you can see, Bruce has got the opportunity to just remove the yellow, hit the yellow stone that's shot and roll out. But if it was perfectly guarded, if it was long,
like that?
it might have given Bruce
Oh,
a
there.
chance just to draw round or play a little bit of hack weight and come round, so probably a relatively more straightforward shot. It's just the line that didn't get right there. James' line, and maybe the weight was a little bit light. So hit about a quarter or less of the stone, remove the yellow, roll out himself, should leave some stones in the house at the back.
Oh, no. Clean
Doesn't
it.
like it, is he? Not far away, maybe. Oh, just didn't get there. Looking for a little bit of curl there. He didn't like it out of his hand. He was shouting no, and it just didn't come. It was just too heavy. Just didn't take any curl. And
so the way the stones are staggered, I think Grant's thinking he's wanting to hit just a small piece of the stone to make sure it was removed. The red stone would have stayed in play, but a bit of a mistake there from Grant has given the Norwegian team an opportunity to place an in-turn shot guarding this, and I think you'd like to think that they would bring this into the house, James, so they're probably looking for this to be into the red at the front of the house, or even touching the white, half round that guard that's in place already. Sometimes in curling, a lot of people say if you want to show the opposition two halves of the stone, so the guard's in place, you can see half of the first one and then half of the second one. It makes it a difficult shot. I'd like to see this one into the 8-foot circle, half round that front yellow.
yeah, it doesn't allow any possibility of a run back then. And if they want to chip it out, that's all they can do, you know. And if they can get a good replacement, then
His line and weight looks good.
it's not far away with this one. Might over curl a little bit.
I'll tell you what, he's going to bring that all the way in.
Oh, right into the 4-foot. They're thinking they can get second shot, and they have.
Yeah, they're line two. It's a good result again.
Yeah.
So definitely got control of draw weight after a bit of a shaky start. William Ness, he's got that under control. So it leaves Bruce a run back.
I'm thinking out, but
Yeah, so you can't play that same shot on that back yellow again, because they were just trying to chip it out and leave that back red lying, but that's not going to do them any good now. They're sitting 2 against, so they're going to have to hit that top yellow and run it right back and try and lift both those yellows.
Just looking at the angles on the stones, though, James, there's various possibilities if he does run it in as to how it's going to, how they're going to settle once they've gone. So let's wait and see what Bruce does here.
It'd be difficult not to leave a guard as well, Pete, I think, after
Agreed.
this.
Agreed.
yeah.
Good shot there of Bruce playing this out turn run back. What a lovely shot.
Well, he executed that about as well as he could have there. Still sitting 3 against now though. That red spilled out to the back as well. So
More space.
he's left that centre guard that we talked about just before the shot. So there is a guard there and the yellow's guarded.
And that's the crucial one. The crucial stone here is that yellow sitting at the top of the grey circle or the 4-foot circle, because the red's still guarding about half of that. Discussions here between Sander and Wilhelm as to which hand they would take for it. You see the indication from Sander, he just wants an out turn draw to the top of the 1 foot, exactly the same weight as he had last time, and that would make it very difficult then for Team Mouat to score at this end, depending on where the stone ends up.
Yeah, Bruce won't be looking forward to his next shot, that's for sure, because he could be sitting, hopefully if Wilhelm has his way, he'll be sitting 4 against at the end of this shot. And that's not the position you want to be in when you're throwing your last stone.
So Wilhelm Ness, out turn draw to the tee line. Again, indications from the sweepers are it's a roundabout tee line weight, or maybe a little bit heavier. If you can see by the hand signals, that generally means it's heavy. They need it to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, they don't want this to go back 8.
It's just a bit
Or they need it
heavier
right
than
back
expected.
if it's going to be back. That's not a great shot.
Not a great shot. So it leaves Bruce a draw to be fully in the 4 foot for 1. The decision here is just which turn he takes. Looking at the in turn. So he had an option to play the same hand as Wilhelm had played, coming down there in the out turn and lying that back yellow for 1. Bruce's preference.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You can hear him say that's his preference coming down this side, but it's slightly safer, you would have thought, coming down and following that yellow that just came down there. Same path, similar ice, and then if it was a little bit heavy, you can come to that back one. And I think most curlers generally would prefer that at the club level at least, to give them that option if it is a wee bit heavy, but he's got nothing to come to. This is going to be a dead draw to the 4 foot, and that shows a lot of confidence.
So it's vital we get the communication right for the line and weight on
Tee
this
line,
one.
guys, line's great. Line's
Grant's
good.
happy with the
Still you,
line.
Hammy. Close line.
Just down to the sweepers now to
Way
get
on
that
it.
weight right.
Easy. Way on it. Line's perfect. Hammy. Tee line, guys.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's a lovely shot.
Judge, boys.
Very, very good shot from Bruce, and that shows the quality of this team. No matter how many they're lying against, as you say, James, he had nothing to come against, to lie against in the house. A dead draw to the 4 foot circle, but perfectly executed. As you can see, the sweepers coming over the tee line. When the shout comes down that the line's perfect, it's then down to the sweepers to make sure that they get it to the right place for weight. As you can see, Hammy just finishing it off there nicely, fully into the 4 foot. A lovely shot. So the score after 4 ends, halfway through this game on Saturday morning in the A Road, is 4-2 to Team Mouat.
We're through, like. Right, top 4.
I probably want to force. They're probably through a corner, 2 down.
A bit of discussion amongst the boys there about the tactics that the Norwegians are going to employ at this end, which determines how they're going to play this end. But first and foremost, Hammy has got to settle down after the exertions of sweeping
Grant, it's all yours.
and play an in-turn into the
It's tight, Grant.
circles.
And that's another place that the fitness comes into it. You know, when you've been sweeping so hard all the way down on the last stone, and then the next thing you're asked to do is sit in the hack and play a draw weight, and your heart rate is going so fast. You know, to be able to control that heart rate, get it back down to where it needs to be, so you don't overthrow that stone. That's
Hammy will be disappointed with that one though. He's looking at top 4 and he's come up as a guard, so gives a bit of cover before the Norwegians. So Harold will be looking to play a corner guard here again and try and get things set up. And if the Norwegians, who have definitely upped their game the last couple of ends by scoring 2 and then putting a bit of pressure on Bruce to make his one at the last end, they'll be looking to score 2 and square the game up here at the 5th end, James.
Yeah, I think they played a good end the last end. They'll be a little bit disappointed they didn't get a steal. They were set up really well. They had 2 stones biting the 4-foot. And they were sitting 4. They would have liked to have maybe even picked up a 1 or a 2, and put the pressure right back on Mouat and his team. But Bruce pulled out a great shot, scored his 1, and they'll not be too disappointed with that either. They forced the 1, as well. That's always what you're trying to do when you don't have the hammer. You're trying to force the other team to only score a single point. If you can't score, sometimes there's nothing you can do. All you can do is set up a good end and hope for a mistake. And if the other team don't give a mistake, then a 1 is the next best outcome.
Okay.
So yeah, they'll be pleased with that, and Willem Ness will be, like you say, setting this
I think that is slow, that's slow.
end up.
I think that's why he's that lead. Okay. I was going to question if it was
So just an example of Bruce making that shot of this team, currently ranked 4th in the order of merit standings within the World Curling Tour, one of the top teams. And again, when I was having a conversation with the team beforehand, they're looking to maintain that standing. Similar to golf and to tennis, James, if you're maintaining your standing in the top 10, it means you get invites to a whole lot of the competitions. So it helps you when you're planning your schedule for the following season. And then after the Scottish, as I said earlier on, hopefully the boys they'll be aiming to win the Scottish and go to the World Championships. Then they've got the 2 final slam events of the season, the Players' Championship and the Champions Cup, and that's already in their schedule because of where they're ranked in the world. So the final goal for them this season is to maintain that ranking in the top 5 for them, or in the top 10. So then they know for next season exactly what their schedule looks like. So it's important this weekend from a ranking points point of view, if they get a good result here at the Perth Masters, that they keep themselves up there in the rankings.
Hard line.
And you just saw a good draw there from Harold Rian, the lead for Team Mellemseter. It dropped a little bit behind the tee, and you saw Bruce ask Bobby just to put one right on top of it, because they would have sat shot there. I think obviously the Yellowstone would be better at the top of that button at the top of the tee. So just where they're indicating there, that's where they were looking to throw the first one. So a little mistake there from Bobby, threw that a little bit shy. They've got 3 guards now. I don't think that's going to help them if this yellow gets right on top.
Plenty cover up there for the Norwegian team, but even looking at the angles on these 3 reds though, James, while they're all still short of the house, they're lined up in such a way that if there's a yellow there directly behind them, it might be easier to remove it. Boys working hard to get this past, and the line looks good to get this past these guards.
It's all about getting it right on top now. Can they get it deep enough? Yeah, that's lovely. That'll do. I'm pleased with that.
So Bruce surveying the options here.
Here high.
He's looking to run this, as we said,
It's a fraction high.
a fraction high on the first red into the second red and then onto the third red, and then maybe remove that yellow that's just been played by Bendik Ramsfell. So a big shot here for Bobby Lammy.
Whoa! Whoa!
This is one for the highlights reel if he pulls this off.
Whoa! Whoa! Never! Whoa. Never!
Oh hell! That was just lovely.
Great shot.
Good Bob.
So a good shot. Opened things up a little bit. That's what they wanted.
Go on, give us a smile, Bobby. Not even a little smile.
Have it all. Just about.
Just about a little smile. He said. That has given the Norwegians though still an opportunity. If you notice that yellow's been pushed slightly behind the corner guard there, they'll be happy enough with that. And then for them to take advantage here, remove the red and roll behind some cover. Bendik Ramsfell with the out turn, take out.
Yes! Yes! Hard! Hard on! Yes! Hard on! Yes!
This one's going over curl, I think, James.
Oh, they don't want to hit their own yellow.
No, held it well.
Squeeze past. Did well to hold that there.
Yeah, Bendick, son of Bent Ramsfell, as I mentioned earlier on. Olympic champion in 2002 in Salt Lake City as part of the Paul Truelson team, and an excellent curler himself. Comes from a long line of great curlers out of Norway. Bruce indicating here, hack weight, out turn, take out for Grant.
Hair firm. Raise nice. Yep. Hair firm. Whoa. Yep. Yep.
Good communication there from the front end. Bobby's need to sweep it hard for line though, to hold it straight.
It's going to be close to the guard, I think.
Which they're doing very well.
No, that's not bad. That's
Great
a
sweeping
shot.
again, and very, very well played shot by Grant Hardy.
Nice throw. It was actually pretty good.
Aye.
Got a hack to me, come on. Look at here for a hand.
So an opportunity to get this stone a little bit more buried. What they're looking for here is just the yellow to come down, hit that red slightly on the outside, and then roll in behind that yellow guard there so that Bruce can't get to it anymore. Well, they've tightened up the ice a wee bit here.
Maybe tightening up the ice to maybe play a little bit firmer than originally asked for. Sander, who's certainly upped his game the last few ends, looking for an out turn.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Oh. And then.
The line looks pretty good.
Yes.
Starting to curl a little bit now. Again, sweeping hard to hold it straight.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, lovely shot.
Can you get the wee roll?
Does get a little bit of roll,
Oh,
yeah.
that's not bad.
Well played shot. So we've definitely seen James over the last few ends some excellent curling.
Oh, the same shot.
There's been
You got
quite
any?
a lot of stones in
Got
place, but you've seen a lot more shots executed as expected than we did earlier, particularly from the Norwegian team.
Weight a little heavy there.
I thought you were about to
So Grant can only see about maybe half to 2/3 of this yellow stone. He'll be looking to remove it, maybe the same weight as last time, and roll into the open.
Here more. Here more. Whoa. More weight. Whoa. No. Whoa. More.
More weight, as you can hear from the boys. Hammy sweeping it to
this
try and
one
just
just
curl a little bit
Keep
more.
going.
It's going to roll out of this. I think it's going to catch too little of it.
It's not going to hit a lot of it. Enough to roll it
Bring it
out.
out, bring it out.
Just enough to get it out. And rolls out himself.
Right.
Okay.
So decision time now.
Not exactly what they were looking for, but it's okay. They've got to get a perfect draw around this corner now. It just means that it gives Sander a chance to get an absolutely perfectly buried stone here. But it's not an easy shot.
No, but it definitely gives Team Mellemseter here a chance to score two and square the game. So as you said, it's a bit more ice over the side of that centre line. Sander Rovag looking to play an out turn draw around that yellow corner guard that they placed there earlier on in the end, with the intention of using it as they can now to try and set up two sweepers are on it straight away.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yep.
To sweep it for line, this one's going to curl quite a lot.
Don't want to hit that guard. It looks like it's on the guard.
Oh, they're holding it well. No, you're right. I think just a little bit, maybe a little bit lighter than he wanted in weight, because you can see even with it hitting the guard where it's rolled to the. He was looking for T weight, James. That wouldn't have made it to the T line. So an opportunity missed for Team Mellemseter. Leaves Bruce Mouat with probably a hack weight takeout on this yellow stone, the only yellow stone in the house at this time. Bruce will be looking to remove that and replace it. Nose it at hack, as you've heard Bruce say there.
Yeah.
Number one priority is to remove this stone. Bit of a bonus if you can replace it and still remain in the house, especially since you can't see it, although with that red guard's a reasonably long guard, James. There's a bit of room, as you can see, between the red at the top of the shot and the yellow.
Weight's good. Weight's good. Yep.
Easy hack.
Weight's good. Hack.
Yep. Easy hack. Yes.
Whoa. Clean. Clean it.
Lovely shot.
Sure, gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Sure. Not hard.
A little bit of a last-minute panic, I think, from the team to make sure that yellow was out. There were some worried looks glancing towards Grant as he swept it out the house, but in the end it made it comfortably. But still 2 stones to come from Wilhelm, looking for an in-turn draw right round behind that red stone that Bruce has just played. As we've said, the last couple of ends, he's really, with the exception, he was a fraction heavy with his last stone at the last end, but he's had really good draw weight. So trying to come through that gap between the long red, the 2 yellows, and finish up behind the red that you can see in the red circle at the top of the picture.
And this. Hold on.
The line this looks tight and narrow, doesn't it? Yeah, that's going to curl onto that red short guard. So been caught out a couple of times down that line on the in-turn draw, although the weight was
shy of weight actually.
Quite a lot shy of weight, James. Yeah, so
Do you think that pass is pretty
advantage swings to Team Mouat to exert some real pressure here. Play a similar shot.
I think it's a couple of feet slower, but not as drastic.
Yeah, they've been playing well all end.
Just thinking mine ran really straight.
Team Mellemseter.
Yeah. I think we just make sure we're in, right?
Yep.
Give me that.
Yep.
So I think listening to the discussion there, James, Grant calling out that the boys think through timing the stones up and down the draw weight that it's got a little bit slower, which is maybe why some of these stones have come up shorter. So taking that into account and the ice.
Like speed's the same. Alright.
So they're saying the speed's the same. So not quite sure if it's slowed down or not, but they're making the necessary adjustments as they see fit at this point in time to make sure that that stone ends up where it should.
Line's good. Line's good. Hard, Hammy.
This one started to curl, but the boys were on it, sweeping it.
Hard, line's really
Early
good.
enough.
Just top 12. Hard. Gotta get a bite.
Not over there.
Yeah. Gotta get a bite. Hard, Hammy. Hard, Hammy. Hard. Gotta get a bite. What on. Go on. Let's try this.
Yeah. Soften, man. Huh? You soften them. You soften that. You better soften that, you think? Huh? You better soften that, you think?
I thought I was pretty through it.
Okay.
So a little bit discussion.
Jeg sier ikke knappelinje. Hæ? Jeg sier ikke samme linje til knappen. Skal hit, liksom. Hæ?
Yeah, a little bit discussion there amongst the team about whether Bruce felt he was a little bit soft or it was his usual positive delivery, and taking that into account together with the ice conditions, I think they maybe come to the conclusion that it's maybe a little bit slower in weight, hence the reason he came up shorter. So they'll make the necessary adjustments for the next end, and I think that can be reinforced by the fact that some of the other stones were shorter than anticipated at this end. But it leaves them lying 2, Team Mouat and Wilhelm Ness. Final stone here in the 5th end. Looking to make a draw for 1. The boys are sweeping this tight for line, and again this is going to be very tight. It's going to over curl.
Yeah.
Not even close, James.
No. And that's a bad loss. He didn't want to be short there. Short's nothing in this game, you know, when you're needing to get something in the house. So, I mean, you should never have been short there.
So after getting themselves right back into the game, all of a sudden they find themselves 4 shots down after 5 ends with the score 6-2 for Team Mouat.
Yeah, and that came out of nothing. I mean, Mellemseter, the Team Mellemseter were getting control of that game. Bruce was chasing it the whole time and chasing around those corners and one in the centre. They were set up really well on the first sort of 4-6 stones, and then it just all went wrong.
So as you can see before we start the next end, discussion continues amongst the front end and Grant
I never thought he was good.
to take the learnings from that last end into the
They've
sixth
got them
end.
all next door. I think you
We'll
give
be
a
looking
couple
for Hammy to not be short this time, to get the team off to a good start and be in the house. Bruce is calling this top of the 4 foot circles, the grey circles, as they're painted on the ice.
Or not, let it go.
And the boys are on it straight away.
Head down.
So working hard to make sure this one's
Where's
not short
tight?
of the house.
Off that.
I'm just dropping that.
Yeah, this one's short, it's pulling up as well, so
Yeah, again, they'll not be happy with the result of this one.
gonna have to
I'm
adjust
dropping
their
that.
weight
I'm
now.
dropping that.
a little. I think you're just clean. I don't think you're dropping. I think you're just clean. And yeah, just if the weight's coming off it a little, you can't get away with that.
So with 3 ends left to play, the score at 6-2 for Team Mouat. Team Mellemseter must try and score at least 2 at this end to get them to drag themselves right back into it, James, with them running out of ends to score.
Even the quick stuff were struggling.
No.
So they'll be looking for a corner guard. Sweepers have kind of backed off this a little bit, looking for it to sit down to make sure it doesn't slip into the house. But it's coming to a nice finish here, so it's in a good position as a corner guard.
Yeah, I think this stone's a hair slower as well, mind.
We're on the 6th end now. Team Mouat leading 6-2. And Willem Ness and his team are really going to need
Line's good.
a 2 here
Top
to
four.
have any chance in this game.
Room now.
Yeah, you heard one of Bruce's team, I think it might have been Hammy, talking about the stone being a hair slow. What you can find is at the top level of the game, if teams have identified teams as stones as either being slower, faster, swinging more or being straighter, it can work 2 ways. If you've really got a grip on it and you're comfortable in dealing with it, you can use it to your advantage in certain situations, and you'll find the teams move the stones about. But similarly, if you kind of overthink about it and overanalyse it, it can certainly work against you.
And you see Hammy overthrew that one there, his second one that he thought was the slow stone, and maybe gave it that little bit more, and it's now sitting back 8 foot. So like you say, Pete, he's maybe just got it in his head it's a slow stone and just threw it that bit heavier, and it really didn't need all that much more.
So Wilhelm Ness looking for another corner guard from his lead player Harold Rian. Plays that, although it's not level with his first shot, which leaves 3 guards out there. But again, with Bruce Mouat looking for an in-turn draw. He's got 1 stone count at the back of the 8 foot with a centre guard and looking at the in-turn draw.
And this is a game, we talk about the 5 rock rule a lot, but normally they would have started hitting here. They're 4 up, 3 ends to go. They would have started hitting those guards, but they can't. They've got to do something with their 5th stone.
Lots of room.
That's right, James, and that's where it's in recent times it's totally changed the dynamic of the game. You would have seen them try to remove these 2 yellow stones.
Our boys.
And some teams even shaking hands with 4 down with 3 to go, just thinking there's no chance because you just can't keep the guards in play long enough. But that's changed now, and I think there's always a chance.
And after a slight lapse at the last end, normal service has resumed for Bobby Lammy. Lovely in-turn draw at the top of the 4 foot. I'm surprised here that 4 down that team Mellemseter are trying to run this guard back in.
Yeah, he doesn't like the way that they're set up. Doesn't want to come around his corner, and that centre guard, he doesn't like it being there. But
I think though with it.
Oh well, that's a lovely shot.
Good shot, well executed. That's what it called for, and he's got 3 yellow guards now out front.
Yeah.
You'll see Bruce still continuing to play this in-turn draw.
Tighten the ice up an inch then.
Here, less ice.
So Bruce is now set up to try and look and steal at this end. That's what he's looking to do. Either looking to steal, or just force maybe the Norwegian team to take 1. If that was the case, he would be 3 up with Hammer with 2 ends to go. so slightly more aggressive. There's 3 guards out there that he's not looking to
Didn't think
remove.
you're awful. Top 8. Room. Grant. Close. Grant. Grant. Grant.
Have to. Go. Whoever. I think we'd just go then.
So not curling as much as his first one.
well.
Slightly heavy, but still a good result.
Yeah, 50 as well.
Although the only thing is it slipped behind the tee line, so opportunity was here maybe to freeze that stone, but Willem has not opted for a hack weight shot to remove the red and try and roll, bring his corner guards into play. Move that red one away from the centre.
Jeg drukker, vi trenger vant.
So just give it a little bit more ice there. Probably indicates they're going to play at a slightly softer weight.
Yes, yes! Aye, good, aye. Oh, yes! Yep. Yes! Oh. Yes! Hold! Egen videre. Go. Yep.
Well, that's not what they called.
It's not what they called, but it's actually, in a bizarre way, it's worked out not too bad. It's promoted one into the house, still got a guard. It's not gone behind the cover, but it gives Bruce a chance to remove this. He's asking for a hack weight shot to
Yeah. It's in the
remove
last
it
one,
and
it's a good hack.
sit on the nose.
Yeah. Even if you don't want to, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty heavy.
One in.
Heavy. Whoa. Hammy. No.
Sweepers have called it's a little bit heavier than they expected.
Keep going.
Trying to make this curl. Could be very tight.
Purpose.
And not a bad result.
Great.
That's worked out okay for them. Primary objective was to remove that yellow, James, which has happened. So with the cover out front, Sander and Wilhelm just looking to remove that red and rolling behind the cover. I think an option here is to play probably a back ring weight and just tap that red alongside the other reds in the back. So if your yellow's in front of it, even if Bruce is trying to remove it, there's a possibility they might jam it on one of the reds at the back. At this stage of the game, when you're 4 down, you want as much as you can at the back of the house to try and maybe act as a stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see with the ice that they've given, they're not going at a heavy weight at this. You know, they're looking at a back ring weight for this and just try and tap that red back next to the other reds, as you say, Pete. And just take a gentle roll to the left and right in behind that guard, and it'll sit right on the tee line. And they'll be hopefully looking pretty good there for the 2.
Syv.
Kort å krysse midten, så følg med.
Yep. Yes. 8, 9,
So
yes.
the weight looks pretty good. It's just all about line now, James.
It looks wide. I don't know if are they trying to roll that the other way? No, weight's coming down off it now. Not going to get the wee roll.
Quite happy with the result though.
Not bad there.
Although with the distance between the yellow and the red, it should be a straightforward removal of the yellow stone.
Even if you get it off the bottom side of the
Quarter.
So here Bruce saying hit a quarter.
Yeah, they needed, at that weight, they really needed the roll in behind the guard and stop this stone being hit directly, which is what's happening now.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Good. Nice.
Yeah. Good shot from Grant Harty.
Nice throw. Good.
See my
Jolly.
See about top 12 hitting the stone. Just the way I threw it, still going back.
Oh, still going back.
Like it was on the stone at the top 12.
Actually, I thought you heard someone say, clean, that you said.
That's what was on it. The hot gun, it's just going through it slightly into it, just kept
I thought you said something there.
So these 3 stones have been pushed to the back of the house, which is what the Norwegians are looking for. Sander now with his in-turn draw, looking to come behind cover.
Yep.
Sit in front of these stones. Sweepers are on it straight away. More for line than anything else, James, and that's looking like it's going to curl a long way. Yeah. Never really got the weight or the line. So again, a disappointing result.
Yeah, we thought he was coming back onto a game, found his draw weight, bit of confidence, but
yeah, and as we move past these 4 yellow guards to the 3 in the house, it gives Team Bruce Mouat a real opportunity to put some pressure on the skip of Team Mellemseter.
yeah, if they put this top button, it's going to be a really, really precision draw. Not to lose a 2.
More than your last was perfect, I think.
Yep.
Just half in the 1 foot's great. Okay. So you can't freeze the back. So it's slower than my draw shot here. Sorry? Slower than the 2 ends ago. Oh yeah. It's just 6 feet in your last, perfect. Right.
So there you are, the team just confirming before Bruce throws the exact weight that they're looking for in relation to previous stones he's played a couple of ends ago. They've all agreed it's a little bit slower and they're needing more weight.
Line's good. Line's good. Weight's perfect. Top 4. Still you, Hammy.
Sweepers are happy with the weight, it's just all about getting the right line for the placement of the stone.
Go for biting, bite the button.
To bite bottom, which is the small white circle in the centre of the house.
Nice throw.
Good shot, Bruce.
That's absolutely perfect, that's just exactly where they wanted it. So as we move towards the end of the 6th end, you're watching live coverage from the 2019 Mercure City of Perth Masters. We're coming live from Dewar Centre here in Perth, Scotland. And Peter Loudon, I'm joined in the commentary by James Davidson. And what has been quite a fascinating game this morning. Bruce Mouat, the team getting off to a bit of a jump, looking like they were going to blow Team Mellemseter out of the water. However, Mellemseter rallied in the centre of the middle of the game, scored a 2 and had real opportunities to get back into it. Gave up a 2, they were currently 4 shots down and facing 4 reds, so a bit of an uphill task. But I'm sure if they score 1 this end, that'll give them a little bit of a pick me up, James, moving into the kind of final 2 ends. But it's going to be tough to score more than 1 anyway at this end with 2 to go.
Yeah, and I think he is looking to play just a gentle weight here. Tap that red in the top of the 4 foot to the back of the 4 foot, maybe roll him behind the guard, or keep the yellow hanging around somewhere. But just looking to.
Yeah, you're right. It's just tapping that red one back, maybe to try and lie alongside the red at the back. Because the yellow guard's that long, if you can get tight to that, maybe get inside and a little bit of a hide. He might not be line shot, but if he lies 2nd or 3rd shot hidden, it gives him a chance. Line looks pretty good. Shout his back line, so his weight's as he's looking for it. His line's very good actually.
Close to the guard, yeah. He's got right onto the nose of that. Is he going to tap it far enough? It's not bad.
So red still lie 2, that's probably the best he could hope for. But the reds are in a good position for Bruce really. He's looking at all the possible options, thinking ahead really at this stage as to what Wilhelm has by way of options for his final stone, and that will probably determine where he puts his red stone. And I think the right shot here is probably just a guard.
Yeah, that's what you indicated there a minute ago. Looking at
tap for 1 and let him play the angled runs for 2. Correct.
There you had it. Don't need us.
Play the guard and let him play the angled run. The angled run meaning that yellow stone that's not in the circles to the right of your screen. Run that back into the 2 red stones. Difficult shot, but that's really the shot that they want to leave. And Grant indicating to peel that one out.
That one. That's a lot tougher.
What are you thinking?
Because that's only for 1. It's a much easier shot than that. That's his only easier or you hit and roll. You can hit and roll.
Hit and roll.
Okay.
Few options being explored here. Bit of a discussion by the team.
I like it.
the hit and roll is to remove the corner guard that Wilhelm was going to.
Sanders giving him a hand.
Yeah, he's telling him what shot to play.
I was thinking that.
In his best Scottish accent.
Yeah.
We've seen Grant's hit and roll here, remember?
First end.
We've seen this.
So they've played this shot before, so I like this call. This is to remove the yellow one, thus eliminating the run back, and then roll across to guard the tap up for 1.
Nice control.
Nice controlled weight from Bruce Mouat. It's all about getting the line right. They know the weight's good.
Yep. Line.
And he's sweeping it hard.
Is that going to roll? Oh, that's lovely.
Spot on.
Rolled a fraction too far,
Maybe
but
a fraction too far.
But that's been very critical, I think, there. That's a well executed shot.
Definitely. So, a couple of options here then for Wilhelm Ness. I think they've got other corner guard that's on the left hand side, just halfway between the hog line and the house, can be run in to try and score 2 shots, or he has an in-turn draw or tap back on the one that he's just played.
I think the tap back's only for a 1. I think he's got to go for the run back, because that angled run back has a chance of giving him 2 if he catches it right. And I think at this stage in the game he's got to go for a 2. I think if he takes a 1, he's going to be, you know, with 3 down without the hammer, he's going to be really struggling.
So the Yellowstone to the left of the screen, you can see Wilhelm's trying to make contact with probably about 3/4 of that, maybe a little bit more, and run that straight back past his own yellow one onto the 2 reds at the back of the house, and stick the yellow there, thus scoring 2 shots. It's definitely possible. It's probably...
It's a high percentage shot, a low percentage shot, I should say.
Yeah, low percentage shot. But one is a skip that you always relish, especially if you play it
on the televised games as well. This is the time to shine.
And big weight, almost throwing big weight. Sweepers are on it right away. He's up out of his slide, so it doesn't look like he's going to make this. Yeah, he's only over curl, so
not to be
2 shots.
I think we could see the gloves coming off in a minute, I think.
And that's 8-2.
Yeah, there come the
shaking hands. So that's the end of the game from this morning session here at the 2019 Mercure City of Perth Masters from Dewar Centre in Perth. The final score after what was an exciting game, 6 ends of play, was Bruce Mouat 6, Team Mellemseter, sorry,
it's got
8,
a 2, you've got to add the 2 on.
My maths was never good. 8. Team Mellemseter skipped by Wilhelm Ness 2, which means that Bruce Mouat and the team move forward in the A Road to the A Road semi-finals, which will be at 4:30 this afternoon, and Team Mellemseter drop into the B Road. The triple knockout format that we have means that once you've lost 3 games you're eliminated from the competition, so still got a couple of lives left for Wilhelm and the boys, and they'll play again I think probably at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So
yeah, I think one of the biggest things is the extra games you then have to play, and that's what Mellemseter's now looking at.
Yeah.
But
so looking back at some of the highlights of the game this morning, number 1 seeded team Bruce Mouat, first end, where there was a real opportunity for Wilhelm, just slightly overthrew his out-turn tap back for 2, and actually gave up 2 as he nudged the red onto his back yellow. So that was the first end of a 2 to Bruce Mouat, followed by the second end, again an out-turn shot from Wilhelm with his last stone. No sweeping required on this one.
Looking to score his 1 and taps in.
Yeah, he was just a little bit wide of line, probably a little bit heavy, but gave up 1 to go 3-0 to Mouat. And this is where the game changed in favour of the Norwegians. As you can see, Wilhelm roaring at his team there to sweep at the third end. A great end played by the top end, I would say, from Mellemseter. Left them with a straightforward draw for 2 shots to bring them right back into the game at 3-2. So on completion of the third end, it was 3-2. And then as we move to the fourth end of the game, Bruce Mouat played it. What's probably one of the shots of the game, I would say. A lot of pressure exerted by the Norwegian team. He had a cold draw, no backing, an in-turn draw against 4 stones, and made that perfectly to extend his lead to 4-2 as we moved into the 5th end. Lovely triple raise, take out, shifting things around by Bobby Lammy. But I think it's safe to say there was some mistakes crept in at that stage, the last few ends for the Norwegians, and the last shot of the match to try and score 2 didn't quite come off for Wilhelm. So it was end of the game. As you can see, team shaking hands, and a good solid performance, I think it's fair to say, for Bruce and the boys this morning as they progress to the next round in the A Road here at the Masters. We'll take a quick break and we'll join you for the next match, which will be broadcast this afternoon. Thanks very much to listening. Myself, Peter Loudon, and James Davidson, it's been a pleasure, and we look forward to speaking to you later on today.